If you're familiar with Reddit, you know that there are some bad people on there. I mean, it's the internet. Anybody can post anything they want. And today we will be looking at the worst of the worst, those who were posted to r/am I the devil. So a lot of these are going to be coming from am I the a-hole, and then somebody else reposts them to am I the devil, because usually they're pretty clearly in the wrong. Let's get started. All right, getting started with the first one. I'm intrigued to hear this because I feel pretty strongly about this topic. Am I the a-hole for thinking my friend, who is usually the designated driver, would be the designated driver? The reason I feel so strongly about this topic is because I hate drinking and driving. Guys, hot take. If you are going out and you don't have a designated driver or you're not Ubering, like, just don't go out. And if you do have someone driving, you need to communicate and talk about that they are going to stay sober. You can't just like assume that they are because they're driving, because not everybody really cares about that, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way things are. Let's get into this. What happened last night is rocking my friendship group, so I need to know if I'm in the wrong for this. My friend group consists of 3 girls, myself, 22 female, Liz, 23 female, and Leah, 22 female. All fake names. We've been really close since freshman year of college, and we've always had the same dynamic when we go out. Liz and I get hammered, and Leah is the designated driver because she doesn't do drugs or drink. It's literally been like this since we were 18. Leah's birthday was recently, and we were all really busy to do anything special. Last minute, all 3 of us got invited to a kickback. Leah's boyfriend was hosting, and it worked out that we could all go. The friend told us to be there by 6, but Liz and I wanted to go around 8 because we didn't want to go to a party early. I should have realized what was going on because Leah's boyfriend kept texting her to come over. Okay, just to get things straight, it's Leah's birthday. They couldn't do anything special for her birthday, but they are all going to Leah's boyfriend's friend's house to have a party. Okay, but not her party. I should have realized what was going on because Leah's boyfriend kept texting her to drive over earlier and he would pay for an Uber to come get Liz and I later. I told Leah to just wait for us to get ready. Leah drove and we arrived at 9 because we wanted to pick up some alcohol. I was so surprised and kind of embarrassed to go find out that the kickback was a surprise party for Leah organized by her boyfriend. I felt kind of bad because apparently the boyfriend was trying to get in contact with us to tell us about the party, but Liz and I had blocked his number prior to this whole thing because he dropped us as friends earlier this year. Okay. The party was really nice though. We kind of just left Leah with her boyfriend because he doesn't like us very much. I feel like he should have tried harder to contact us so we could have at least got there on time and brought a present like everyone else. It's around 11 p.m. when Liz and I want to go because it's getting boring, and like usual we are pretty wasted, so we go to find Leah. She's all over her man, but we say excuse us and tell her we want to leave. She says, "I'll see you guys later, thanks for coming." Like, did you not bring us here? I tell her that she's literally our designated driver and she could just drive us home and come back. She starts apologizing and starts saying she'll do it, but her boyfriend gets mad at us. He tells us to order an Uber, but we don't trust Ubers when we get drunk. I did feel bad because it was her birthday, but like we were 30 minutes away from my place though. Her boyfriend ends up driving us back and cussing us out the whole drive, and he got really hurtful saying we were bad friends and taking advantage of Leah. Longest 30 minutes of my damn life. We thank him and he ignores us. Anyways, Liz and I end up going out again later that night to a local bar with this guy Liz is seeing, and she posts an IG story of us there like an idiot. Leah is not replying to us, but we are literally mad at her because she didn't hold up her role when we go out. Am I the a-hole? Edit, please stop praising Leah's boyfriend. One surprise party doesn't revere the hell he's caused her. He's not a good person, and we've been trying to break them up for so long. This is why we, Liz and I, avoid him the best we can. Damn. That is... Okay. Red flag number 1. They were too busy to do anything special for Leah's birthday. If you are best friends with someone, you will make the time to do something for their birthday. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't have to be like in the same week as the birthday, but like you can do something for your birthday. So I was already kind of sussed out about these girls. Yeah, they blocked her boyfriend. It sounds really complicated. Also, they got there and then it was like, oh, it's a party for Leah, so of course like she's gonna stay there. They could have Ubered, but they don't want to, which I do understand. Like, Ubering can be very scary, especially like when you're two girls and you're drunk, and then you go and leave her party because it's too boring, and then you go out again. And how did they even get there? What the hell? Like, what the hell? If I was in Leah's situation, I would feel very uncared for. I would feel very hurt, and it just doesn't really sound like they're the best friends. Someone said, "You're the a-hole. You clearly walk all over Leah, and good for her boyfriend for calling you out. It was Leah's birthday. You ruined her surprise party and then asked her to leave her own party earlier to take you home because you're bored. What is wrong with you? She's not your driver. She doesn't exist to cater you to a-holes. Get an Uber for God's sakes. Also, it was so important that Leah leave her own birthday party to drive you two home all the way so that you could go back out again? You're the a-hole to the max. Friends stay at their friends' birthday parties and don't expect the birthday girl to drive them home from their own party so that you can go somewhere else you like more." That is kind of the craziest part. Like, you leave your friend's party so that you can go out again? Like, your supposed, like, best friend? That is so not cool. Okay, someone said, "You're the a-hole massively. It's actually disgusting that you're too entitled to even realize it." To recap, 1. Leah was 3 hours late to her own surprise party because you and your fellow princess didn't want to show up on time and insisted that she wait around for you to get ready and takes you to pick up booze. You stayed at her surprise party for a grand total of 2 hours before getting bored and wanting to leave, but you and Liz are too precious to get an Uber, so you went to your chauffeur, Leah, and informed her you were ready to leave. When she said bye and indicated that she was having a good time at her birthday party, you thought it was a reasonable request to insist that she drive you home and then come back because she brought you there. Let me repeat that. You asked the birthday girl to miss even more of her own party to spend an hour shuttling you around. If you don't trust Ubers when you get drunk, then stop being such a pisshead when you go out. Yes, yeah. If you don't want to Uber home, then you better be sure that you have a ride home. And if it's her birthday party, you can't assume that she's going to want to drive you back home. I don't know. To prevent a birthday girl from being the doormat for you, Leah's boyfriend drove you home and accurately called you out on what trash friends you and Liz are, but you're too dense to realize he's 100% right. 4. The icing on the cake, you were too bored to waste your night celebrating your friend's birthday, so you and Liz decided to go do fun things instead, because who would want to spend their time at a friend's birthday party, right? Which means that if Leah had driven you home, she would have had the added slap in the face of knowing that she left her own party so you could go and do your other thing somewhere else. Unbelievable. No wonder Leah's boyfriend doesn't like you or Liz, you two drunken users who don't care about anyone but yourselves. I truly hope Leah sees sense and drops you both. Yeah, it just really sounds like their priorities are not on straight. Like, the priority should be the friend if you really care about the friend, and it kind of seems like in this situation they just kind of care about their own needs and drunk. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I wish the best for Leah and all of them. I mean, they're all pretty young, so there's time to realize their mistakes. Okay, next one. Am I the a-hole for calling my sister cruel for her tattoo idea? Interesting. Is it my sibling sucks? That's a little bit cruel. Sister is 28 and I'm 26 male. My sis, N, has always had strained relationships with our parents, especially my mom. I am clearly not privy to the reasons because things are fine with me and my parents. When N went to college, she met her creative writing professor as a freshman, and they got close immediately. They would do a lot together and worked closely on a few different writing projects. N never specifically said this, but it was obvious to anyone who saw them interact that they had a substitute mother/daughter type relationship, which hurt my mom a lot to see. I always thought she'd grow out of it or that the professor would move on, but 10 years later, they are still really close. That's really sweet. That's really sweet for N and that professor to have such a close relationship like that. About a month ago, the professor died unexpectedly and it devastated N. She was really depressed over the holidays, which of course was all in front of my mom, and it was a difficult reminder that N loved the professor as a mother way more than she ever loved my mom as a mother. She still talks to my parents and stuff, and they don't fight or anything, but N is very distant and doesn't tell them anything about her life beyond the bare minimum. My mom tried to comfort N, but N was doing her distant thing and didn't want comfort. Something unfortunate that happened to N is that when she got the call that she died, She was brewing tea, and in shock of the news, she spilled boiling water on her arm, which burned her kind of badly on her wrist. I think the burn was like borderline second and third degree, and definitely still looked pretty rough during the holidays. Anne said it was especially hard because in addition to the physical pain, every time she looks at it, she's reminded of the moment she found out that the professor died, which I totally get. That is so sad. That is really devastating. I was on FaceTime with Ed, and she said she talked to her tattoo artist friend who said that the burn should be able to heal well enough to get a tattoo over it. And then excitedly told me about her idea, which was a type of flower that the professor gave her a bouquet of for her undergrad graduation. My mom was so embarrassed that day because she didn't get Ed flowers, but the professor did, and Ed was parading them around so happy, and it was a reminder of their connection. I guess Anne and the professor exchanged these flowers for every special occasion like birthdays, etc. So now she wants to get a decent sized tattoo in a highly visible spot of something that will remind everyone of the professor. I told Anne that this seemed really cruel to my mom, who already feels cast aside, and she's in exile from Anne. And that's without the constant permanent reminder. Anne kind of scoffed and said, "I can't believe you think you have the right to tell me not to do this." True. Called me an ass and hung up, and is still not talking to me except for a very brief text saying, "Congrats for a promotion I just got." My parents aren't commenting. My dad said I should have just kept quiet even though he agrees, and my mom made no comment but seemed grateful I stood up for her. I feel like I was just being protective of my mom, but am I the a-hole? Yeah. The fact that OP thinks that this tattoo is cruel is kind of ridiculous. If anything, the only cruel thing is how your mother seemed to treat her growing up. I don't know what the mom did, but obviously there's a reason for this strained relationship. And, I understand that the professor and the daughter, his sister, had such a close relationship. That is your mom's fault for feeling so threatened by that. It sounds like a really sweet tattoo idea. It sounds absolutely amazing. She should totally get it. She sounds awesome, honestly. Like, she still talks to the family. After the brother was like telling her not to do it, she congratulated him on a promotion that he got. Like, she seems like a sweet girl. Like, who cares? Who cares? Oh, we have a comment from OP. He said, "When it comes to my parents, I don't doubt that she sometimes saw different versions of them. So for full disclosure, I just turned 26, whereas my sister is about to turn 29. So we're more than 3 years apart than 2 years. My parents both drank a lot, and my mom abused pills for a while. She got clean from pills when my sis was 14, but they both kept drinking until getting sober when she was 17. I guess on my end, I just felt very proud of my parents for both being addiction, whereas my sister has never let go of the anger. And it just hurts for everyone involved because my parents wanted a relationship, and she is very resistant to them. It's not like I never saw my parents on a rough state either, so I guess my confusion lies in her having this reaction to the same thing when I was able to strengthen the relationship and be proud of their recovery." At the end of the day, yes, you guys are siblings. You are very close-knit, but you don't know exactly what she went through, especially since she is older, and she was 14 when they stopped doing drugs. Like, that is pretty significant. When you're 14, a lot of relationship stuff has happened, and he was like 11, so he was still a kid. Yeah. OP is definitely the a-hole. You can't tell your sister what she can and cannot get, especially since it's a very sweet tattoo. It is a very sweet tattoo. And also, it just feels like he's it seems like he's writing off his sister's trauma with their parents growing up as just nothing. Oh, she's overreacting. I don't get what it's all about. When obviously there is a reason. I mean, people don't want to be estranged from their parents. And so if they are, it's some shit went down. Someone said, "Yes, you're the a-hole. For starters, your sister's body belongs to her. You do not have a say in what goes on it. You can approve or disapprove all you like, but it's her decision. For a second, you are not the arbitrator of your mother and sister's relationship. If your mother is bothering your sister, it is not your place to fix that rift. Your sister lost a very close friend and person in her life and would like to get a meaningful tattoo to represent the relationship and honor that loss. There is no cruelty in that tattoo. The only cruelty is in the minds of people who think it's somehow about them when it is not in any way. Exactly. That is sweet. That is sweet. Oh, I just wish the best for her. And I'm so sorry for her loss. I really hope this guy, it just gets more empathetic towards his sister in the future and that it doesn't have to be like that, their whole relationship. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling a friend that she's kind of overreacting over a broken leg? Probably. I, 24 male, have a college friend I sometimes hang out with, 25 female. Basically, we live in the same city and met on our course and kept in touch after graduating. Like a while ago, my friend hurt her leg and the doctor gave her a walking boot to wear and walking sticks. I hung out with her like a week after it originally happened and she was kind of moany, like saying how much it hurts and how annoying it is and complaining about work, even though I'm pretty sure her boss just let her work from home through it all. Throughout, it kind of spoiled the vibe a bit at the time, but I get it and helped her out and all that. I wanted to hang out with her the week after that, and I suggested a nice club, but she said she can't due to her leg, and instead suggested a restaurant with a few of her friends, and I get it, and agreed, and the whole meal was her basically complaining about her leg, or walking, or depression due to her leg, or this or that. Bro. Anyways, the next time I hung out with her, it was at a shopping center, and again, same old complaining, even though the doctor told her to walk on her leg by that time, and she said she needed to sit down almost every 15 minutes. I kind of thought it was a bit ridiculous and just went, man, crazy they let you go out of the ICU. She didn't get it at first, but then got mad when she did, and I apologized and told her that she's overreacting and should stop spoiling the mood with it all of the time. Like, millions of people get hurt, that's just life, etc., etc. To which she got madder and stuff was said back and forth a bit, and she's going home. I tried to apologize in text, but afterwards got ignored. Am I the a-hole here? I get that she broke her leg, but I was kind of making light of the situation a bit, and I thought that she got a bit too mad of what I said. Also, hangouts between friends are supposed to be fun and not supposed to be negative and depressing all the time. Brother. What? For those of you who want to have long-lasting friends, part of having a friend is listening to them when they're down and, I don't know, being decent. Like, she broke her leg and he's like complaining about her, talking about her depression from all this happening. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. That's crazy. Someone said, yes, you're the a-hole. You don't get to decide what is the appropriate reaction to someone else's pain. She obviously needs help and support and needs to vent. You need to decide if you can offer her that, in which case do and feel good about helping a friend. Or if you cannot, in which case kindly and gently tell her that you are very sorry for what she's going through and you want to be helpful but have limited capacity for hearing her venting. Set limits, do what you can, and take space for yourself when you need. Instead, you said nothing to her about how you were feeling until you reached a boiling point and then threw a cruel joke at her. If you value this relationship, you've got some repair work to do. 100%. 100%. Yeah, if you're uncomfortable with your friends complaining to you, which I don't really see why you should be, but I understand when it's all the time. But, you know, she broke her leg. She broke her leg, like that is very serious, and anybody would feel depressed or would just want to talk about the pain that they're going through because they want their friends' support. Like, man, breaking a leg, like that is like legs are literally like the biggest part of your, like it's like your biggest body part besides maybe like your torso area and like this chunk. Well, those were fun. I love reading about the a-holes. What can I say? I had a devilish time. Thank you so much for reading these stories with me. Let me know any content you want to see from me in the future. I'm going to be doing more of these. And yeah, let me know if there's any topics or subreddits that you want me to go through, and I will definitely do them. I listen to what you guys have to say. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.